Nope. 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 What's this? Welcome to my stream Q&A. What's this? All right. Well, I don't know what I did right there, but that's now can I only do, let's see, video? Nope, no. That's cool. All right, let's see what else is in there. Settings, let's see. Let's see. Video. Is that my highest I could do? 720? I guess. All right, is the chat here? Where's the chat? All right. Oh, shut up. What's up, Chris from Arizona? Hey, well, I don't have a countdown because I'm using Restream on here. I don't know why. Well, I guess, whatever. Doesn't matter. I wonder if I could add people. Let's see. Does it let you do that? Invite a guest. Copy link. Add a placeholder. What is that? Oh, shit. Don't. How do you take that off? But anyways, guys, I'm trying out this thing right here. What up, Brad Pitbull? How do I get rid of that? Oh, remove. That's cool. Remove. All right, let's see if I could put this right here. Paste. All right, well, I wonder if I could lock this here. How do I lock that there? Does that lock it there? Norby's is a shadow man now. Hey. All right, so this is my first time using this Restream. Uh, Clearly it works because you guys can see me. I'm driving in the rain. You can't tell because I have this cool background thing going on that StreamYard doesn't let me use unless I pay for it. Today's some bullshit. But for the most part, it's pretty cool because I got this background. You guys don't have to worry about me, possibly crashing while I'm driving in this wet LA evening. Very wet. Okay, but that being said, let's see. That's cool. It shows me there's how many people there, the time, the quality. Norby's is at the bus station taking some homeless man's kitchen. Shout out to Lades, the title of the stream. Ooh. Is it? This is why I like that. Is Restream free? You know what, Chris? Yes, Restream is free. It's free. It gives a little bit more than what StreamYard is giving right now with their free stuff. So I think I'm gonna be using this Restream. A lot of you sure will. Risky Ben says, buy the professional one. Marvelous. For me, look, if I could get it for free, I don't have to have my thing at the highest quality as everybody else. I mean, for me, I'm perfectly fine with 720p as long as I get the message out. You guys can hear me, you guys can see me. For the most part, it's kind of dark because there's like literally no light. Mostly because the sky is covered in clouds because it's raining. Usually this light would light me up, but it's not even that much. It's I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. I don't know. All right, so let's get to the topic at hand. As you guys saw, it says, did DT give BC a BJ? Now, that's the hottest topic right now. There's like thousands of memes out there right now. Uh, AI couldn't have come at a better time because a lot of people are creating all these AI videos. Now, I'll be the first one to say, hey, I don't care if Trump is if he likes the sausage, as they say. If he's a sausage man, hey, more power to him. Let him eat those glizzies. Oh, okay, maybe a little bit. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. It's a little weird. I would admit to that. Uh, is there a Marvelous show? Yeah, there's gonna be a Marvelous show. I'm actually on the way there right now. Uh, like, where you poor guy that's glitching. That's funny, does it? You should put a Taco Bell as a background. You know what? I'm gonna see if they let me do that. I'm gonna see if they let me do that. Kind of look like I am in a Taco Bell, and behind me you could just see the outside. I don't know. Did Trump give Texas food the IE food treatment? Ah, ah. Look, guys. I don't know, man. And here and there, and then they threw in that plot twist where the Epstein's brother, I think his name is Mark. He said, he said that he said that is it Bubba, because they referred to as the guy that he was giving the dome to. They referred to him as Bubba, but according to Mark Epstein's brother, who he was writing, he was the one that was talking to Jeffrey Epstein in that email. Said that when they mentioned Bubba, they weren't referring to Bill Clinton. So then everybody was starting to look. Okay, well, who's Bubba? Who could possibly be Bubba in the whole Epstein world? And the plot twist is that the closest thing they could find that has the name Bubba connected to it is a horse. It's what's her name? Fuck, what's her name? Gladwell, whatever her name is, that's in jail right now. Epstein's partner, woman partner. Apparently, she had a horse named Bubba. So, is he really? Is he really? Really? Is Trump doming up a horse? Is that is that the move? Is that it? Is Trump is into bestiality? Now I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If he's into horseplay, see what I did there? You see what I did there, guys? Come on. Ghislaine, there we go. Ghislaine. Thank you, Brad. Ghislaine. Ghislaine had a horse named Bubba. Now, if Trump is into horseplay, and I mean that literally, uh I don't know, the dynamic shifts. The dynamic shifts. Lattice and Hillary is so repulsive. Maybe Trump was better choice for Bill. You know what? You might be right, Lattice. You might be right. You know why? Because there was a post where Trump did say that Hillary didn't have what it takes to even satisfy her own husband. I don't know. That tweet hits different now that this info came out as far as Trump and his glizzy what's the word? Well, and his taste in man meat. I don't know. Is it man meat? Is it horse meat? Everyone wants to know. That being said, I saw him today, talking with reporters. I'm not gonna lie, Trump has been looking better. Trump has had better days. He looked very tired, exhausted, defeated in a way. I don't know. I think he went down the rabbit hole and saw all the AI memes of him doming up Bill Clinton. And I'm not gonna lie, if there was if there were thousands of videos of me doming up a dude, I think that might get me, guys. That might just bother me. That might just disturb my day. We're like, I'm the president of the United States. Where's my respect? The least you guys could do is respect the president and not make videos of me doming up another president. That just it hits different when you really say when you start talking about it out loud. It's interesting. Some people say, "Why do you care that he's doming up guys?" I don't care. I personally don't care, but it's it's insane that that type of development happened with the emails that were technically released by the Republicans. That's the big twist because, you know, Trump wants to say, "Oh, this is the Democrats that are pushing this narrative," but those emails, according to reports, were released by the Republican Party. So you really can't say it was the Democrats that released them. Can't say that. So I don't know. Is it the Republicans, hitting back, saying, "Okay, well, at least we could get him as a cocksucker," literally. Smileys, what's up, Smiley? Now, Smileys, welcome to the channel. Thank you, Lattice, for introducing her. Appreciate that. Rapid says Tony is still mad at Norby's for not returning his shopping cart. uh, oh, that's so cool. Does this work? Oh, that does work. Hold on, let's see. Does it work? Oh, cool. You could. Oh, so that's how it looks like. Sweet. All right. So that's crazy. I mean, like I said, so what if he sucks people's dicks? You know, that's fine. I care is about policy here. I care about policy, which one could say it's going good, another person could say it's going very, very bad. I mean, he's pushing that 50-year freaking mortgage, 50-year mortgage. Like I said in the last one, if you plan living there for the rest of your life, I mean, honestly, you're not gonna save any money. You're not gonna save any money. You're definitely going to pay more to the bank to have a house. Those are just numbers. That doesn't work. Is he going to give those $2,000 stimmies to the people? I don't know. It's in the air. He said he will. He said he might. No, he didn't say he might. He said he will. But I, as the YouTube Yarda likes to say, where's the paperwork? Oh, I take that back. They don't do paperwork. They just make up shit. But for the most part, I haven't seen anything written on paper that would suggest that Steamy is coming. Apparently, he signed an executive order that the government will not claim will not take parts of your tips. I don't know if that's true. One needs to see it to believe it. I do. Like I said, I think once all is said and done, we'll be lucky to get $800. Hey, you never know. I bet that Trump haters won't refuse that money. I think the best tax rebates. Oh yeah, but for the most part, no, no. And you know what? I don't think it has to do anything with as far as being a Democrat or a Republican. And I say that because look, everybody had to pay the price for these tariffs. Let's face it. You go to your local store, they raise the prices. You order out, they raise the prices. You order stuff overseas, they raise the prices. You gotta pay. Everyone had to pay. It's only fair that the people get some money back out of this. If anything, you could call these tariffs in a way another type of taxation. Except all the companies won and everyone had to pay the price. But you should at least get something back. I think it's kind of odd that Trump said that only the poor, and I'm not too sure if he said poor or low class and middle class gets it, but the rich people don't get it because they're rich. Like, why would he need to say that? Why? What's the whole point of him excluding the rich and publicly stating that he's excluding the rich? And then who counts as rich? Who counts as rich? Who counts as middle class? Because here in California, if you want to be low income, you gotta make less than I believe you have to make less than 1,500 a month. If you want to be low class or poor, you have to make below 1,500 a month. A month, people, not a week, but a month. If you make 1,500 a month, you could collect EBT. You could sign up for Section 8. You get all that stuff, but you got to make under $1,500 a month. A month. Any more than that, then they take all that stuff away from you. Which I still don't understand how that works. But hey, thankfully, thankfully I've never been in that situation where I had to worry about that. Thankfully, but I'm not gonna lie, man. When you see those places that they get to live in, pay like $500 a month for a huge 2 bedroom apartment, it really makes you, maybe hang it up, you know, work a very crappy part time, live in a nice 2 bedroom, but not own anything. I don't know. Might be worth it. So again, who knows? I don't know. I don't know who qualifies for lower income and middle class and rich. Like, what's rich? Is it over 80,000 a year? Is it over 120? Is it 500,000 and up? What qualifies as rich in Trump's eyes? Billionaire to be considered rich? Shout out ACC chemistry. Shout out Lotus. But that's what I'm saying, folks. This whole income bracket here in this country it's all out of whack. I mean, I don't even think Trump even knows what low income is. I think for him, low income are people that make 100K to, like, I don't know, almost a million. I think that's low income for Trump. I'm pretty sure if he saw how much low income is, he's gonna be like, "Wow, what do these people live on? Hopes and dreams." I always said it's sad that back in the day you could work full time at a McDonald's and still be able to pay rent and eat and pay your utilities. Now you need two McDonald's jobs to pay half your rent, hopefully your utilities, and have some money for maybe a car, maybe, but you're gonna need two jobs for that, two of them. Because one full time job just doesn't cut it anymore. Smiley says, if you got 100K, I think you're rich. That's what I'm saying. I think that's what. But I think for Trump, somebody that's been wealthy all his life, I think 100K that would probably be considered low income because I don't think he could ever live off 100K a year. His utility bills are like probably 20K a month. Back in the 90s, the good days. Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying, man. It doesn't make sense how everything's been gotten so expensive. Rent, property tax, food. I mean, gas has always been expensive here in California. That's because, it's not regulated. Nobody tells them what to charge, how much to charge. It's just a big club of gasoline owners that, come up with how much they should charge. It's the peasants. Lottie says Miley's got a bonus. We're about to be rich. That's right. Let's see. Chosen says, what does he say? Norv, let me get the 2000 from you, man. I know you feel about that bread for you. I don't know. Maybe I'll donate it to a worthy cause. Who knows? My bonus is $150 and I'm super happy. Hey man, that's $150 that you didn't have before, and then you didn't have to do extra. So that's a win right there. That's a win every day for me. Shit, give me $150. That's half of the groceries for California. Horrible. I remember I spent $70. I got at the grocery store. I got four tuna cans, four bags of chips, a milk, like 20 eggs, some sourdough bread. What else? Oh, and two lime juices. $70 right there. $70 for that. That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I wish I was on EBT. That would help a lot. But I don't meet the requisites to have EBT. Let's see. HBC Chemistry says, I've been watching the amazing Lucas and Nick Fuentes, two different views. Nick Fuentes, like, I mean, like that is one fiery gay white kid. I mean, you know, it's crazy. I didn't know that the dude was gay. I recently found out that he was gay. It's like you can't touch this guy because he's got the gay part where you know they have a lot of rights, and you can't attack a gay guy. Otherwise, you know, yeah, that's bad. And then he's got the Christian part where you know you can't go against his religion because that's bad. And then he's got the white part. I mean, this guy's got the trifecta of armor as far as political talk. You know, you and there's a trip. Now Lucas Fuentes, I don't know who that is. I got to check that out. But Nick Fuentes, that guy is crazy. I gotta give him that guy. He's all in. Like, I mean, this guy doesn't, he's not afraid of saying the N word. He's not afraid of saying, calling people, calling out the Jews. This guy's, I gotta say, but you know, somebody that runs that fast. I mean, even though he's been on YouTube for, or I don't even know if he's on YouTube, but as long as he's been on, you know, I don't know how that guy survived, but like I said, he's got all three trifecta armors: being gay, being a Christian, and being white. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that as far as you know getting views and getting sponsorships. I mean, it could go either way. See. All right, you guys are commenting a lot, that and with me driving, I can't really catch up to the. Let's see, what's Texas minimum age if it's less than 15 bucks? It's 13.50 or 12. The Democrats love gay white men but hate straight white men. ah. But yeah, like I said, Nick Fuentes got the trifecta of armor. I mean, that guy has plot armor. It'll be difficult to take him down. I mean, he's got. He is his move. I gotta give him credit. His movement with America First. It's and he chose the blue color. He chose the blue color for his merch that says America First. Look, for me, that's good. That's a good selling point. He's going against MAGA by stating America First, which for the most part, a lot of MAGA people have realized that Trump is not putting America first. That Trump is putting a lot of other countries before America. I mean, like I said last time, he took off the tariffs for Argentinian meat. So we're gonna be able to import beef from Argentina so they can so we could so we can raise their economy. So we'll import a lot of Argentina meat, which is bad because what's he doing for American farm workers? What about American beef? It is ridiculous that he's helping out another country sell their beef here, but he's not helping this country that he's the president of, you know, to make more money. If anything, he already broke the contracts. Well, not broke them, but he stopped the contracts where you know the government will purchase American beef. So now they don't, the American farmers don't even have that contract where they're guaranteed sell to the U.S. government. For all I know, he made a deal with Argentina for the U.S. to buy their beef for the U.S., which is ridiculous. That's totally against what he said he was going to do, which is put America first. But he's not. Nick Fuentes is an Edomite and tried saying that he was Mexican. As far as I remember, Nick Fuentes said he's Italian. He's an Italian guy. I work at Whataburger. Ooh, I always wanted to try Whataburger. Only 6'4". I think we only have one Whataburger here in LA. And I want to say it's in Beverly Hills. Only says, well, Tony would ask you, why do you care, Norbies? Are you a farmer? You know what? He would. He would. But you know what? That's the thing. Because I do care because if they can't sell, they're either going to let a lot of beef go to waste or they're going to raise their prices to so that they can pay their bills because they're no longer backed by the government. So it's a shit show. Nick Fuentes is half Mexican. Is that true? Because I'm not gonna lie. Well, he's probably Euro Mexican because that kid is white as rice. I totally meant to say it that way. But you know, he's a bold guy that's really pissing off Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro. He's pissing off everybody. This guy, as soon as Kirk hit the dirt, this guy stepped on that dirt and claimed that whole piece of real estate that Charlie Kirk had. I gotta say, he's a big white movement. That's for sure. He's a big white movement. This guy's way more aggressive than Charlie Kirk as far as talking about the blacks, talking about immigrants, talking about brown people, all these things that he brings up. He's a wild guy. I say that. I'll tell you that much. ACB chemistry is $4 over there for gas. Well, it's like almost $5 over here. Where you at, bro? Candace Owen is a queen. Like, was that like a compliment or that was like sarcasm? Let me know. Let's see. Oni says, well, Tony A. Wood asks Narbies, why do you make fun of Trump but not Biden? Oni says, and I'm glad you told me that because I had a conversation with Tony recently where I told him, like, when we were doing news with Norbies, I would consistently make fun of Biden. I would bring up every single report that they made of him sniffing girls, doing this and that. I brought it all up. I even made fun of I even said how stupid he was to tear up that deal with China for $2 billion of imports. Of China having to import American goods to China. Like Biden was the stupidest guy to have done that. Like that destroyed a lot of our farm workers, finances, I guess. But yeah, yeah, and that's the one thing Tony A can't tell me. Why didn't you bring up Biden? I did many a times while he was president, before he was president. I didn't like Biden. Who did I like at that time? Well, I could say maybe Bernie Cruz. I could have had maybe I had Bernie Cruz on the list, maybe. But honestly, like I always said, I majority of the time, if not all the time, I'm voting third party. Voting third party because someday, third party is gonna make it. The third party is gonna make it. Damn it, we got to get our own moment where we take over. You know what? I'm not gonna lie, guys. Right now, if I was if I was president right now, you know what I would do? I would get rid of the IRS. I'd get rid of federal income tax. Why am I going to charge you guys when I'm already taxing you guys everywhere else? That's gone. No more federal tax. You guys don't have to worry about that. Let all the corporations making trillions of dollars pay for that. I'll start. I will start government funding hospitals again. Because if you guys remember, back in the days, the government did fund hospitals. That's how a lot of the cheap medical achievements were made because the government funded hospitals. Until somebody said, "You guys don't need to pay for these places. Let us build these hospitals. Let us privately charge the people. Let us come up with insurance and then charge them insurance. If they don't have insurance, charge them cash." You know, back in the day, the government did fund hospitals, doctors, nurses. One could say those were the good times. And for the most part, yeah, you know what? Property tax, I would get rid of that also. Why not? Why not? Why do people that buy property have to be worry that the government is going to take away their property and they don't pay the taxes on it? I mean, look, guys, you guys are already paying sales tax. I mean, that in itself should cover everything. All the sales tax from 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 goods, from like TVs, electronics to restaurants, gasoline, liquor. Isn't it odd that even up to now liquor is not taxed? Even though it's like one of the major causes of car crashes, deaths, people taking themselves out, and it's not even taxed. I would start taxing alcohol so that I could put it into hospitals so people are covered. You know, why not? That's the thing. I mean, look, it's not like you guys feel like you're being represented, even locally. Not, you know, why are we all of you guys? There shouldn't be any state, any federal tax for all of us. That's the thing. And look, we're in a crisis right now where hundreds of thousands of people are losing their tech jobs. They're all losing their tech jobs. Why? Because AI took over. Why? Because that big beautiful bill allows for AI to take over without companies having to worry what they're gonna do with these employees afterwards that are now jobless, and all they can do is code. Which reminds me, don't tell any of your nephews, any of your kids, don't tell them do not be a coder because they are firing every coder left and right. Why? Because AI can do the job twice as fast and better. So coding, as of now, is out the window. That is not a reliable job to go after. It's not. So no more coding. Why? Because AI can code for you now. You're the second person to say that, Jedi. But again, you know, all these government officials can do all these things. They're not representing us. They're charging us. They're making sure that we got to work overtime to have a good time. And that's some bullshit. We shouldn't have to work overtime to have a good time. For the most part, a lot of this right. We should come up with ways to make our own money. You know, no, not make our own money, but earn it. And nobody makes money. We all got to earn it one way or another. People that make money, that's called counterfeiting. And it's very illegal. And you know what? ACB chemistry, yeah, Candace married for Will. She's not a dumb girl. I mean, I don't know if you know, but she won a huge lawsuit when she was a teenager. She became a millionaire when she was a teenager from a lawsuit of discrimination against her. And then she played the field. She realized how political power works, and that she wanted to make a difference. Basically, she was the at the beginning. I want to say she was the girl version of Charleston White when Charleston White was what you would call a respectable politician, a respectable looking person, not the guy you see now. Back then, he had the suit, he had the tie. He was going to all the meetings. He was working with senators. He was doing everything in a positive light until he realized that it got him nowhere. Nobody gave a fuck about the clean cut guy trying to make a difference for his community. If anything, they laughed at him. They laughed at him. And that's when he said, you know what? Let me hang up the suit and tie. Let me put on a do rag, big jeans, a jersey, and let me talk like these people. And let's see how that works. Guy became a freaking millionaire from being a positive role model, trying to make a difference in his community, not making no money, to hanging it up, saying, let me give them what these people want, becomes a millionaire, which is the Charleston White that everybody sees now. You can't get mad at the guy because he really did try. He really did try to be a positive role model to make a difference in his community. But they laughed at him. They thought he was a joke. And now what you have left is the Charleston White you see out there. Here's remind me, I don't know if I told you guys, but he follows me on Instagram. True story. I never expected him to follow me, but if you look at, well, I don't know. I haven't checked lately. But he is he is following me from the last I checked, but recently I haven't checked, so I don't know if he's following me. But shout out to Charleston White if he sees this. Charleston is goofy when it comes to Rasa. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, bro. He wasn't like that before. He wasn't like that before. The guy he is now is a guy that the world turned him into. And that's the sad part because he really was a clean cut, suit wearing guy. Always talked properly, but you know they laughed at him. They thought he was a joke, and so he became who he became. It never rains in Southern California. Well, it's raining now, but anyway, okay. So that's it. That's the whole story with Trump doming up Bill Clinton or possibly a horse. Who knows? We got to wait to find out when we get confirmation on who this Bubba is. And I kind of thought when they said Bubba, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but if you guys remember, there was a big black dude on Police Academy. And I'm pretty sure his real name, or at least his nickname, was Bubba. I think it was Bubba Smith. Now that would be wild because that guy was a big dude. He was a big, tall dude. And if it was Trump doming up that Bubba, might as well have been a horse. I'm just saying. Don't take my word for it. But if it's that Bubba, that fool Trump got that throat. Goat throat. I told Tony A that if it's true, Trump needs to get a GOAT on his neck, a neck tattoo that says GOAT. All right, so next topic. Next topic is Trump mania hits Mexico. So that's, and I'm saying that because I don't know if you guys have seen, but they're making this big deal that Mexico is fighting back against the government. which is currently Morena, Claudia Sheinbaum, uh, suc- uh, who is succeeding AMLO, the last president. Now, for the most part, these protesters are pushing out the message that this government that's in place is working with the cartels, right? Okay, and then it needs to stop, and that they want to bring the old Mexico back. For the most part, I think all of you guys know that the old Mexico was definitely a lot more friendly with the cartels. For the most part, the cartels have been in Mexico for more than 40 years, right? So before this president, Claudia and AMLO, why weren't they complaining about the cartels? For the last 40 years, you didn't hear one big protest. Oh, we need to fight back against the cartels. All these years, from selling liquor to selling weed to selling coke to buying weapons from the US, you didn't hear any of these people protesting that, oh, the Mexican government works with the cartels. That's why they're getting so powerful. Oh, the cartels are powerful now because they've been working with the government. Not this government, but the old government. They've been working. You know, the interesting part is that the cartels always had that reputation that they were the ones like assassinating all these journalists. Those are cartels. They were killing off journalists because they were getting too close. No, it was the government of Mexico that were taking out these journalists. It was them making sure that they don't write their stories because the majority of their stories were about them taking cartel money. And the politicians that were in power at that time were PRI, or even PAN. But these were the parties that have been in control of Mexico for the, I don't know, last 70 years. 70 years until AMLO won after running for like 5 times. He finally won the presidency. He gives credit to YouTube, Instagram, all the social media for his victory. Otherwise, PRI would have always been manipulating the votes in their favor. The current government right now is raising the economy for Mexico. It's making worldwide deals that are benefiting Mexico. It's creating jobs. It's bringing Mexico to modern times, which is a good thing. Why is it a good thing? Because that means less Mexicans are gonna not want to come here and stay there. Why is this a bad thing? Because if those Mexicans don't come here and stay in Mexico, they're gonna take over Mexico. And that's not good for the handful of European descendants that currently have power in Mexico. Because if those people, those poor people stay in Mexico working, getting good jobs, starting a business, they're eventually going to start gaining more political power than they already have now. Some of you people, I don't know if you know, but before, the government used to be the one to appoint all the judges in Mexico, all of them. Claudia changed the law and made it into a vote that the people get to choose and vote in which judges they want. It's not the government anymore. The people have to vote for what judges get to be judges. And that was a huge step as far as giving power back to the people of Mexico. Because before they didn't have the option to choose the judges. And I'm talking about like federal judges. Now they do. Now they have the right and the power to choose who to vote in. And that's all these administrations have been doing, just making sure that Mexicans don't have to leave Mexico to have a better life, so that Mexicans can stay in Mexico and have a better life, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. I don't want Mexicans to come here. Why do I want Mexicans to come here? So they don't have to experience all the racism, all the discrimination. I don't want them to come here for that very reason. If they can make the same amount of money over there, then let them stay there in their homeland where they don't have to face all the discrimination that we get here. That would be better. I mean, some of you guys can say, "Well, care if they talk shit about me, or they hate me, they don't like me, they look at me when I enter their place," and that's, I could say the same thing. But if I could spare other people from having to deal with that, I'd rather do that. I'd rather they not come here and experience that. Let them win in their countries. Let them have their jobs in their country, their money, their livelihoods, without having to come to a country where they're going to ask for your ID. They're going to stop you because you're brown. They're going to make sure your school system in your community sucks so you don't come out on top. They're going to make sure that certain banks don't give you loans. They're, you know, a lot of things, a lot of things. Let them stay in their country. If the Mexican government can keep them there, I'm all for that. Let them win. Trump, stop messing around with Mexico. Let them win. Trump, stop messing around with Venezuela. Let them win. We don't need to destabilize these governments anymore. Because as far as everybody is in agreement. You know, they don't need to be here anymore. We don't need more immigrants, or we don't need more people coming here. You know, if anything, let help them make trades. Free Cuba. Let them do their own thing. It's just an island. I'm just saying, guys. Trump needs to worry about the U.S. just like the Mexican president worries about Mexico. Very funny, 805. A lot of you are correct. You are correct. That is not exclusive to the U.S. But it's just, I guess, because I experienced it here more. For me, it hits more because from what I know, they definitely do experience that south of here, Mexico, Central America, South America. They definitely experience all that there. But for the most part, you know, I see a lot of our communities not winning. You know, I don't like the welfare system for the fact that people, get get brainwashed into thinking that they could live off of that instead of elevating themselves, elevating their kids, teaching them that, welfare is the right way to go. I don't know, man. I'm just tired with all that stuff. But for the most part, I just want to say the people that are protesting right now in Mexico, where were they like the last 40 years? There were so many other administrations that they could have protested against the cartels. Where were they? This isn't the last 5 years kind of thing. This is on the last more than 40 years. they're trying to run with this is a Gen Z protest, but there is not a Gen Z protest. I saw them interview a guy at that protest, and they asked him, "Why are you here? Well, what's your purpose for being in this protest?" And he said, well, you know why I'm here is because you know what? I'm a pothead. I don't know why I'm here. I'm actually, I don't know. Bro say he's a pothead and he didn't even know why he was there. That's all bad for him to say that. And then you see dudes wearing Nazi shirts. Like, what's that all about? It's crazy. But yeah, and Bob, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because before AMLO, nobody can purchase a weapon unless you're a part of the police department or the military. You couldn't purchase a weapon. AMLO, the president before this one, Claudia, turned back that law to allow citizens to purchase guns. Because why not? I mean, a person should have the right to be able to protect their home. And AMLO, which is interesting because they want to say he's this big leftist, gave people of Mexico the right to purchase a weapon again. Gave them the right to purchase a weapon again. While all these other presidents before him made sure that nobody can own a weapon. Why? Because they're scared that the Mexican people could uprise because they have before in the past and they will again. But you know what? We've had enough kids to take back that country. Mexico is the first step for indigenous people to take back a land, to take back a country, if you may. Said, Bob, you can have a 22, but only at home. Hey, that's more than you had before. Before you couldn't have any weapons. Lotties, you're right about that. But only the people that are obviously in the criminal world are purchasing those. California gun laws are a joke. Why? Because the Black Panthers try to protect their neighborhoods with weapons from gangs, corrupt cops. And when they saw that, you know what, they were really down to do it. They were about to shoot people to protect their neighborhoods. Once California politicians saw that, nah, we got to take those guns away from them. And that's what they did. They took away, they started making strong gun laws so that regular people couldn't buy them, couldn't own them. Unless you applied for it, then you need the background check and you got to pass the background check. And if you don't, you can't have one. So there's a whole lot of things there. But with that being said, guys, I've been on almost an hour. I'm almost at Marvelous. So I'm going to let you guys go. Stay tuned for us going on the Marvelous Minds, having a brain fart. I'll see you guys there. Thank you to everybody. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. That really helps me out. Until then, shout out to all of you. Thank you for coming through, and I'll see you at Marvelous. Later.